What is going on, my investors? It is your host, Investosaurus Rex, coming at you with another video. As you know, we are getting some content out there. I haven't really promoted this channel much, so I'm going to start doing that here slowly. So you'll start seeing more subscribers, more people, more views. As of right now, I'm just trying to figure this all out. I'm trying to figure all this out, right? So that's what we're doing here. But as always, I appreciate you sticking around. Does it focus? Does it focus? There it is. And stick around. I've got some great content to go over, especially with things going on in the news, things going on around the world right now. Plus, what you do if you can't afford your rent. And landlords, what you do if this happens with one of your tenants. So stay tuned. Hopefully what I can give you here helps you out. So the reality with this whole COVID-19, a lot of people are out of work. So initially what's going on is, yes, there are some unemployment benefits out there that help people during this time, but it doesn't help everyone. The reality is it does not help everyone. So the thing is that things are slowly opening up, but they're not opening up to full capacity. So what happens is people go back to work, they're off of unemployment, but the thing is that they're not working at full capacity now. So what does that mean? That means that now they were making unemployment, getting all this money. Now they're back at work. They might be able to continue receiving unemployment benefits depending on their situation. But for the majority of people, that's not going to be the reality. The reality is that you're going to get back to work. You're not going to be working full capacity, but you're still going to make enough money to kind of skim by where you're not allowed to collect unemployment benefits. And that's going to be the issue. That's going to be where we really see people suffering. Because, the government has helped out as far as the unemployment goes. They gave out one stimulus check, and we can go on and on about that, but one stimulus check, really, that's not helping anybody. So they are talking about a second stimulus check. It's at the Senate right now. They have not deliberated on it right now. It's still in talks, but it's gotten to the Senate, okay? So hopefully they'll have an answer for us, I believe, by next week. Earliest, maybe today. I don't know. But the reality is, I'll get you more information as that comes. But the reality is this. As people go back to work and they start meeting the minimum requirements of hours and money that they make, they will not be able to apply for unemployment benefits. And that's a problem. That's going to be a major issue. You are going from paying somebody a basic unemployment package and adding $600 a week to that package. And then when work comes and they're allowed to work, you are initially taking that package away from them and cutting it down more than half of what they're making of what they're making on unemployment. So I foresee this is going to be a huge challenge, especially for people that need to buy groceries, need to pay rent, need to pay insurance, need to pay for their phone bills, need to pay for internet. And I don't know about you, but internet is a utility. You need it. You need internet. In today's culture, in today's atmosphere, you need internet. Okay? So you have all these things to pay. Okay, and so the reality is that how do you do that? How do you do that with the basic amount of money that you're going to be making? Your businesses aren't going to say, well, you're suffering, here's a little extra money. They've been suffering for the last couple months. They can't do that. So what's going to happen is I foresee maybe they help out a little more on the unemployment side, or maybe extend the benefits as far as, hey, we're gonna raise the minimum of what is required for you to apply for the benefits. Will it happen? I don't know. This is just speculation of stuff that I would like to see happen, that I think should happen, because people can't just stop receiving unemployment and going back to work in a minimal work environment where they're not putting in their full hours, or they're not getting paid their full checks. Okay. Now, many of you are going to say, "Oh, but if you're not making your full check, you can still collect unemployment." This is true, but it depends on what minimum that is. So, like, let's say that you were receiving $500 a week. Let's be realistic. Let's say you were making $300 or $400 a week. Okay, so you're making $400 a week, and before all this COVID happened, you were making $400 a week. Okay, and so guess what? COVID happened. You were furloughed from your job. You went on unemployment. You were getting $300 and some change plus the $600. So you were making $900 and something dollars. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, well, you should have saved that money. You should have saved that money. You should have saved that money." We are realizing right now, the reality is that the government doesn't want you to save the money. They want you to spend the money. They need you to spend the money. Read my lips here. They don't want you saving the money. They want you to spend it. That is the whole reason they're doing this. You have to spend the money. So for those people that say, "Oh, well, you got to save the money. You got to take the money and save it. You got to take..." If you do, if everybody that got that saved their money, we would be in deep doo-doo. Okay? You gotta spend, okay? So you spend the money, you use it on different things. Whatever you use it on, I don't care. But you use the money, okay? Then what happens is, oh, things are opening up. Things are opening up. Okay. They say, "Hey, we need you back to work." You can't deny it and say, "No, I don't want to go back to work. I want to keep collecting my unemployment." No, that's not how it works, because if unemployment finds that out, they're like, "Whoa, you had an opportunity to go back to work and you didn't? You're off of unemployment," right? So you go back to work. They're like, "Okay, well, guys, we opened up a little patio. It only sits, regularly we're able to sit 80 people an hour. Now we're only going to be able to seat 25 people an hour. So we're going to have to do this the right way. You can come back to work. You can work these hours. You can work these hours." So instead of going from working, let's say 40 hours a week, you're now working 32 hours a week. Okay. You're like, okay. But guess what? There's not enough tables. So, hey, go do that silverware over there. Hey, go do this. Hey, get this ready. So now a server that's making money on tips is now just getting stuff ready, getting stuff together. And I'm not saying it happens everywhere. I'm just saying that this is the reality right now. So you are working at minimal capacity right now, right? So let's say that your checks now, instead of being $400, they're $300 a week, okay? And people are like, "Well, that's not bad." Well, let's take this into account. They were making $400, they're going down to $300. By the end of the month, that's almost $400 that they're losing. So that's one paycheck that they're losing a month, because they are working at minimal capacity. Okay, that is a reality. They're working at minimal capacity. So you're like, "Whoa, I need to make this money up." So you go back to unemployment. You're like, "Hey, I'm not making my full amount," and unemployment's like, "Well, what are you making?" And you go back and you're like, "Well, I'm making 75% of what I was making." "Oh, that's good enough. Sorry, you can't apply for unemployment. You can't apply for unemployment." So that's why I'm saying right now is when we're going to see the real issues come up, because those people can't apply for unemployment anymore. That is the reality, okay? So let's say all this happens, you're in this situation, you're having trouble paying your rent, or you're going to have trouble coming up with your rent. I know right now we're a society that a lot of us don't like confrontation. A lot of us would rather let these things go away. Guess what, people? This is not going to go away. This is not going to go away. It's going to keep festering, and this is going to be a bigger issue, okay? Now, for all of you that say, oh, rent strike, do this, do that, by the time you get all that stuff going, by the time you can, it's not an option, okay? It's not an option. And I want to let you know why it's not an option. And I want to let you know why. Because the reality is, we don't have to go that far in time. 2008, okay? When banks needed to be bailed out, okay? And they used taxpayer money to get bailed out, okay? Instead of helping the taxpayers and say, oh, hey, they put some laws in place where you couldn't kick people out right away. You had to go through, certain steps. So it was a lot harder to kick people out of their homes. But at the end of the day, the banks double dipped pretty much because they took the tax money. And not only did they take the tax money, people were like, well, I'm not going to pay my mortgage because my house is not worth what you had said it was worth. So I'm not going to pay. That is bull crap. It's not going to happen. I'm not paying. And trust me, if that was me, I'd be pretty upset too. Like, I bought a house for $300,000, and now the bank, after all this goes on, they're like, actually, your house is only worth $200,000, but you still have to pay your mortgage for the $300,000. Sorry, no, that's bullcrap. You just took my tax money, and then you're gonna tell me that you can't give me a break? No, So I get it. People were upset. People were pissed off. But at the end of the day, everybody was like, oh, no, the banks can't take all the houses. The banks aren't going to, are they really going to lose that much money? Are they really going to take a loss on that? Yeah. And they did. And guess what? The banks, people were stealing all the furnaces, AC and everything like that. They were leaving the water running. They were doing all these things because they were pissed off. They were so pissed off. And so they were like, no, this house is worth $300,000. The bank is not going to take a loss on this. And guess what they did? They were selling homes for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. Okay? $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. They were being petty about it. They were like, you think we're not going to take your home? Thank you. And guess what? We're going to sell it for dirt cheap. Okay? So, there's a lot more to it, but that's kind of like a little bit of the gist of it. So what I'm saying to you is, if banks were willing to do that, okay, and you're looking at it as, oh, well, it's my landlord. No. Everything in this country is backed by the banks, pretty much. Everything is backed by the banks, okay? So banks will be petty again, okay? Banks will be petty again. And banks aren't going to let, especially in these low-income housings that are completely backed by the banks. I don't know if you are from a community where they have low-income housing popping up, these low-income housing or these workforce apartments that they build. Those are completely backed by banks. Completely backed by banks. So do some research on that. Maybe I can do a video on that, but banks are the only ones allowed to touch those, okay? So banks aren't going to be like, okay, go ahead. No, banks will get petty. You can bet that. Banks will get petty. But that's beside, you know what? Let's get past that, because I just want you to know that banks will get petty. We, the people, are always the one that get the crap end of the stick. All the time. All the time. And it will continue to be that way, because we have this notion of too big to fail, where, oh, no, the banks are too big to fail. You can't let them fail. Okay. So that'll be a whole nother video. But what I'm trying to tell you is if you find yourself in this situation, talk to your landlord. Landlords, reach out to your tenants. We always, always, always have to remember that there's a human being that is your landlord. There's a tenant that is a human being, okay? Talk to them. Don't hide away. You're going to make the situation worse. Just talk. Talk. That's all you have to do. Explain to them the situation. And what I always say is, if you're a tenant, your rent is $1,000, you can't pay that right now. Show up to your, say, hey, can I talk to you? I'd really like to talk to you face to face, or I'd really like to talk to you over the phone. I can't make my $1,000 payment. I've got $300 right now in good faith. I'm going to give that to you to show you that I'm working. And this is if you decide to stay. Be like, look, I got $300 right now. I'd rather give it to you and slowly give you more money as time goes on, and maybe we can work something out, okay? But my thing is, if you know that you're not going to be able to catch up, if you know that you're not going to be able to do it, walk away. Just walk away. Like, you don't want to have an eviction. You don't want to have an eviction on your records at all. Like, you don't want to. I mean, you just don't. So what I'm saying is just walk away. I mean, a lot of times it's hey, go to the landlord, say, hey, this is my situation. I'm not going to be able to catch up. Let's be realistic about this. Let me leave. I'll go. You can keep my deposit for the month that you're going to lose. Whatever. You can find somebody for that month. Let me leave. Find a roommate for the time being. Move back in with family. Whatever you have to do till all this kind of blows over, do it. Because you got to brace yourself. We're in for this for once all this stuff catches up, we're in on this for a good solid year. So hunker down for the year, get ready for a recession, but always talk to your landlords. Landlords, sometimes it's better to take it base, per tenant. Don't try to clump them all together because everybody has a different story, everybody has a different strategy. So talk to each one individually. I mean, this is your livelihood here, landlords. So talk to them. Express your concerns, tell them that, be real with them. Be real. So that is my advice to you guys. We got to brace ourselves for the reality. It's coming. It's coming. Okay? So as always, I'm your boy, Investosaurus Rex. Check out my other channels. I'm also a geek, huge into video games, nerding out. But check it out. And as always, stay humble and remember, take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. Always. And we're all going through this together. Peace.